All right, so we got another computer here, a skim, the key, and the 3 lock cylinders that are in the srt4. And I'm going to be installing it into my blue car again and doing a test on this ECM. So we can take a look here. This is a skim. There's no visible damage. It looks like it was never out because I had to push the seal off of that rather than try to pull it. So here's our ignition. Everything spins the way it should. Key comes in and out. Here's our door cylinder. Spins that just fine. Trunk. Unlocking that baby. Look at that, popping her out. Okay, so here's the key. Like normal, man, I'm sure this is the original key to this car, and it's pretty worn. So, like I said, I usually suggest having another key made. Now, when I pulled this, the bracket that it was bolted to was bent, and I think the lower core support had some damage. So if you take a look, this ECM is actually bent a little bit. The car was running as far as what I'm told, but I couldn't get it started due to, well, I hooked the battery up. I don't know if it's not starting because of an issue with the transmission, or the clutch is actually keep putting extra load on the motor and not allowing it to spin enough. I've seen it where the actual, like an alternator can lock up, and the AC unit was locked up on some, and the belts were dragging it down. It wouldn't let it spin, so I had to cut the belts off. But with this one, it's not the issue. So that's checking everything out. There's our part number real quick. Forgot to add that. Right there is the 8604. You know, there's the update code. All right, that actually has, it says the VIN on it right there. So I'm going to pull the one out of mine. I'm going to get the skim swapped inside, and we'll get this thing tested out to show that it's working. If you didn't watch the last one, you always disconnect your battery. We have our factory computer down there, and here's the one we're testing out. Okay, so inside the car, I remove the turn signal switch just because it's easier. All right, and then I take the lower cover off, which has 2 screws down here at the bottom. Right there. There. Alright, so we get that out of the way. There's 2 screws here for this. Run up through the top right here and right there. Then your multi-function switch is here. There is 2 screws through those top 2 tabs. Here and here. I remove them and I unplug the switch, which allows me to get back in here. Right here is our skim. So I have a 1/4 inch. I'm going to remove these 2. Then I'm going to lift this off out. Then I'll use the key for this car, and I will remove this lock cylinder. There's a button down here to push. So here is the ones we're installing. Set them down there. Swap out this 1/4 inch. I'll show you what it's like once I get these 2 bolts out, how I lift that to pull that skim out. Basically, I mean, I could, let's get this in here. You could plug this in, all right? Gotta hold this in the camera at the same time. You could plug in the skim, and as long as you held this like this, you could actually rotate the other key and start the car, and it'll show you that it works. But for instructional purposes and to make sure 100% that this works, I install the whole skim and the lock cylinder so that I know. All right, I'm gonna get those 2 bolts out. I gotta grab the key for this car, and I'll show you how to remove the lock cylinder and how to lift and twist the skim out over top, because there's this key release button here and it kind of is in the way, which is why I take this whole switch off, because you can't lift this and twist it up. Try to here. All right, so we just kind of lift the skim and it comes right out. So now here's the other one that we're needing to test. Just kind of lay it on there, drop it down on. Come on, there we go. scratching on my wiring here a little bit. And I'm just going to plug that one in. Still need to remove my original key cylinder. So we take this. This is another reason why you disconnect your battery. Like I said, you're taking stuff apart. Turn this to this on position. See, that's your start. There it is. There's that. It's kind of dark, I'm sorry. But somewhere right there. Out slides your ignition. So then you have to make sure that this one is also into the on position, so that this here button, it's too far. There we go, because we were in the start position. Well, actually, see? And then just slide it in. Okay, so I'm going to turn the key off. Come out here. We'll get our battery hooked up. Connect our ground. All right. Okay. Key chime. Car's in neutral. Clutch is in. We have our fuel pump. There's our theft light. Theft light goes out. Started right up like it should. It's my first time starting a vehicle with this computer. You can see it. Got a little chirp over there. I've been having that for a while. So here's your computer. Plugged in, test it out. There you can see it shows the VIN. My VIN. Running. Alright, let's shut this off. What I like to do is I always like to do the key jangle just to make sure that there's no codes. Alright, absolutely none. We're good to go. This car doesn't have anything wrong with it or any codes, so we're good to go. I mean, I can... Let's do it. Let's just do another start here. Starts up gorgeous, man. Alright, so... that's a working computer set. It was pulled out of a 2004. There's one key, the skim, all three locks, and the ECM. Even though it's a little bent, it's not going to hurt it. Works good. All right. That's it. I'm going to get this thing pulled. I got some other stuff going on. I'm going to get finished up on this car, and the videos will be up. We'll see ya.